Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, Blitz. Today we should be having a look at the Sheridan Armour profile. I'm here to explain how to take the tank out most effectively, not only with HE rounds, but with your normal ammunition AP, APCR rounds. The app I'm using is called Armour Inspector. I would thoroughly recommend downloading the app. It is very useful when you come to look at tanks, new coming tanks. You can sometimes see the armor profile before they hit the game. Not only that, but tanks such as the Sheridan, which is covered in spaced armor, you can actually see the hit skin of the tank. What do I mean by the hit skin? I mean this central part below the turret, which is almost, you can see the see-through part of the tank, and then this darker purple, that is the hit skin of the tank. That and that green bar at the bottom, that's all the hit skin of the tank. What you see is the spaced armor around it, and that is not a hit skin, and that's why you're bouncing the Sheridan so much, is because you're shooting at that lighter purple translucent color, and it's not hitting the hit skin at all, and that's why it is bouncing. Where you'll be HEing the Sheridan is where there is no spaced armor. So when you're in a 183 or a HESH firing gun such as the FV4202, you can't penetrate the top part of the tank where this purple is. You won't be able to penetrate that because it's got spaced armor, and therefore the shell explodes on impact with that spaced armor and not the hit skin itself. Below there is no spaced armor, that green slab at the bottom, and therefore you can penetrate the tank. So if you are using HESH shells, that's where I'd recommend you to shoot frontally. That and the turret of the tank, which doesn't have any spaced armor. With the side of the vehicle, just below the, just above the tracks, that green slab again, that is where you can shoot HE, and it'll be able to pen no problem at all. Likewise, the side of the turret is easily pennable with HE, but that big slab in the middle you cannot penetrate with HE. And also you'll notice towards the rear of the vehicle, where it sort of angles off the hit skin itself, if you decide to shoot above that where there is no hit skin, of course it's going to bounce. You can't see this hit skin while playing the game. You will only see that box of a armor profile. So that's why I would suggest shooting centrally in the tank, and if a Sheridan player exposes the rear end of the tank, I wouldn't take the shot, only if it was to knock out the rear track wheels. That is what I would take to penetrate it. The tank itself is not troll armor profile wise in terms of the thickness. It's not like the Batchat, in which if you severely angle it you'll get the occasional bounce. It's just all to do with this spaced armor, so really take care on taking shots on the vehicle. The only reason you're bouncing is because of the spaced armor and the hit skin. It's got nothing to do with the player angling the Sheridan effectively. And as you can see again, the rear section where you can penetrate it with HE or HESH ammunition is that rear. You know, it's only got 19mm of effective thickness, so any tank tier 9 and 10 can definitely penetrate the tank. But do not shoot the outside of that box, basically above the track wheel. That is where you're going to bounce. And here is some video footage of me in the training room shooting at a Sheridan and showing you why you are bouncing the vehicle. As you can see, no damage because the shell itself is not hitting the hit skin. At an angle like this, you can penetrate it, because what is actually happening is the shell is going through the spaced armor and then it's hitting the sort of bulge which comes out below the turret, and that's what's penetrating. Here, as you can see again, I'm not going through the tank, even though it tells me I can. There's no sort of red marker to say, oh, the shell cannot penetrate. It's merely the fact that there is no hit skin behind. And so from ridiculous angles, it's not necessarily the effective thickness which is causing the bounce. It's more that there is no hit skin behind. The tank itself is actually very small. It's just the large spaced armor around it, the box-like spaced armor, which makes it impossible to penetrate. And even, you know, it shows that HE can be penned at that front front plate, it wouldn't pen at all. And here you go again on the front of the tank. There is no hit skin, like I said before. That's why it's not penetrating. There it is, because I said when you saw the images at the start of the video, it has those bulges, and that's where the shells are actually impacting. This next part of the video, I want to show you how you should take out the Sheridan effectively. This is from the angle of a Sheridan running calibrated shells, 99mm of HE penetration. As you can see, it shows that you can pen the entire tank. You can't. What you can penetrate is that lower glacis. That's where you want to be shooting. The lower glacis, which has an effective thickness of 73mm. That's where you want to pen. The top of the turret hatch you can pen. You can't pen directly in front because it has a gun mantle which provides spaced armor. The side of the vehicle, like I said before, it's all spaced armor. It might say that you can penetrate it, but the spaced armor is going to stop the high explosive shell. It's going to detonate on impact. What you can do is shoot above the track wheel. And finally, the rear of the tank, you can penetrate it at the bottom, because I said before it only has 10mm of armor, which equals 23mm of effective thickness, and you can shoot that. The sides of the turret are 62mm, and the rear of the turret is only 32, so any tank in the game can penetrate using HE shells. And I mean this because when using the T62A, this is how you rip apart a Sheridan with HE. This 62A doesn't have great penetration with HE, I believe something around 50mm, but as you can see, these are where you want to be shooting the tank. It doesn't have enough penetration to go through frontally, that lower glacis, but you can penetrate the sides and the rear of the turret. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope it's helped you out. I myself was confused as to how the Sheridan armor profile worked. I understood that you couldn't pen it with HE in certain locations due to spaced armor and how that mechanic works, but I was confused as to why the shells weren't penning even though I'd hit the tank. And that is of course because there is no hit skin under certain parts of the spaced armor. Once again, thank you very much for watching, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.